I guess you've coached hundreds of doctors, so, or thousands of doctors actually. So how did this journey all start for you, Douglas? Do you go by Douglas or Doug? Do people call you
Doug's fine.
Doug? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
Doug's fine. Thank you.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, that's really the main thing that we do now is train doctors around the nation. We, like I said, just got back this weekend for training about 100 of them in Las Vegas for 4 days straight. And so it's interesting because, we can only meet so many people and talk to so many, me and you, we go out and we talk to people. But I've learned a long time ago that, doctors obviously see hundreds of patients a week. And so if we get 100 doctors in the room, that could be 10,000 people that we've touched by training them. And most doctors are not taught nutrition. They don't know much about whole food supplements, just anything in the holistic world. Even the holistic doctors specialize, right? Chiropractic, naturopath. And so what we do is we go in and we teach them everything else that's not their specialty. We don't teach chiropractors how to adjust. We don't go and teach needling or anything like that with acupuncture. What we do is say, look, here are the nutrition programs that the patient should follow. Here's the research showing, what works best for different conditions. Here's the whole food supplements that people need. And we do a ton of blood work, teach them how to read blood work nutritionally. And so it's really fulfilling because now we're able to get doctors out there truly helping patients get to the cause of disease and to be able to improve their health.
Yeah, I mean, I could never understand why. Maybe you can shed some light here because, I mean, to me, why would a doctor not be taught nutrition? I mean, I mean, if you have nutrition in your life and you have a healthy lifestyle in your, and it's mind-boggling to me too that so many doctors are not healthy. Like, how is that? And we're going to these people to become healthy and they ain't healthy themselves. So what's the disconnect here, man?
Yeah, I think there's two things, two great questions. The last part of that is why doctors aren't healthy. Really big on that. Because a lot of times in allopathic doctors, medical doctors, things like that, because they're not taught nutrition, because they don't teach nutrition or exercise, really the fundamental factors of health and life, they don't follow them because they're not even teaching them. Most of them don't even know what to do. And it makes it tough. It makes it tough to go in there to say, wait, I'm going in here for my health, but yet they don't live the part. So in the holistic field, it's not as much, there are more holistic doctors that are healthy, but we do spend a lot of time calling them out. Like one of the main jobs of our company is to create legendary docs. And part of that is to live what you preach. And so we work a lot with the docs personally. We actually have online training exercise programs that we do for the public that we actually really push for the docs just to get them going. And so I think it's because they're not trained is, the first answer, Daniel. But the second thing is that I really think that without getting into like the whole conspiracy theory and stuff, it's pretty straightforward. It's financial, and the pharmaceutical companies run, America, and there's a lot of money there. And so the doctors, whether it is straightforward, nowadays it's a little more under the table, benefit somehow from prescribing drugs, and they get in they just get in that funk of just, that's all they do. Here's a condition, so we give this antibiotic. Here's a condition, we give this. And drugs are there for a reason. They're there to save our lives. I think they're important. But we jump there too quick when, the research is very, very clear, very clear. The research shows that the number one reason that we get sick, we age prematurely, we don't have more performance on the daily basis of energy is nutrition. Number one, it surpassed smoking about 10 years ago as the number one attributable risk factor for disease, loss of energy, aging today. So we know it's number one, but yet it's not focused on as number one. And because it can't be patented, so the pharmaceutical companies have no reason to promote it. They don't benefit from it just themselves. And, you just have that whole thing that instead of spending a lot of time there, though, we're just like, look, the research is really clear. We all know, we know in our gut, right? We know in our core, we need to eat better. We need to exercise. We need to take in the right nutrients, the right supplements that are just whole food based and obey the laws of nature. And if we do that, we're going to get healthier. So it's just about putting the programs together to hold people's hand. I think that just one last thing about that is Ralph Waldo Emerson gave a quote about our chief want in life is someone to help us do what we can. And that's kind of the motto I live by and we live by is, look, everyone knows for the most part, they need to eat better and exercise and take their supplements, but they need someone to hold their hand, guide them through, work with them, help them make that transition.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right, and I'm okay to talk about the conspiracy of all of that. I mean, it's to me, it's one big giant scam, and it's prevalent in our society today, and it's sad because what you're talking about is right on, Doug. That we need to get taught at a young age. I mean, like, why aren't we teaching this stuff at a young age to get our kids on a healthy lifestyle? I mean, I bust out the green drinks. My kids hate me because I'm like, you got to drink this. And they're like, it tastes like shit. And I'm like, all right, well, there's some things we could do. But I've always promoted it because to me, it's total common sense. And when you tell me I have to take a medicine, which I've always been against the over-the-counter medicines or even prescribed. I mean, obviously, you're right, Doug. I mean, drugs are there to save our life. I mean, there are instances, if I get in a car accident tomorrow, hopefully they give me some drugs to keep me alive, and then we can, whatever happens after that will happen. But for me, just because I have a pain in my back, to immediately go take a Tylenol, that is so bad. I mean, to me, it's just, our society is bombarded with drugs after drugs after drugs, and it's all money. It's all it is money. And versus why aren't we drinking green drinks? Why aren't we, like you were talking about, taking whole food supplements and putting, really, really good things that are designed to make our bodies feel more healthy and to be more healthy? Why aren't we doing more of that?
100%. And let's jump into that really quick, because that's a big thing with the doctors. Like, we spent a good couple days this weekend just on the subject of pain, because the number one reason people go to doctors is because they're in pain and they want out of pain. And even the holistic doctors, if they don't prescribe something to take the place of ibuprofen and Tylenol and these things, people are going to go take them. And we spent a lot of time explaining that the number one drug that actually causes the most depression and suicides in America today is Tylenol. And the research is very clear on this. And that's why it has a black box warning of the liver damage. It's crazy. And then ibuprofen, how it destroys the gut and the kidneys. The research is strong of how damaging these products are, these drugs are to the system. But that's what we go get. We can buy them over the counter, so we think they're okay. And even our holistic doctors don't tell us an alternative. So we spent a lot of time that there are alternatives. There are alternatives with a ton of double-blind, placebo-controlled research. We know that proteolytic enzymes can reduce inflammation just as fast as NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen and that. We know that proteolytic enzymes can do that. We know that there are phytonutrients, and phytonutrients are what you're mentioning in your green drink or in the red drinks, beets, things like that, that are anti-inflammatory at a fast, really powerful level. So if we give people high doses of the specific proteolytic enzymes that break down the inflammatory markers, or we call imbalance of prostaglandins, if we give people high dosages of the phytonutrients, either in, whether they're doing their juicing, or we can put a whole bunch of, them in capsules. These are the things that people should be doing when they're in pain, when they have the inflammation, to get it down first. And then if it doesn't work and there's something serious going on, and everyone wants to be out of pain, maybe there's something there, but we're jumping way too fast. And so there are alternatives. That's what I was the first nutritionist ever in the NBA. And during that time, that run, our players, they go down to ankle injuries or they just had pains and that. The very first thing they do is we give them these enzymes and phytonutrients to reduce the pain and inflammation. And 90% of the time, that's all they needed. And they didn't need to go to the drugs, and that they cause the liver damage and the kidneys and all that. And so we just need to wake up a lot more in America, but there are alternatives. There's things that people can do and they can use. And we just really need to get wins with people. The number one thing that I was hired for in the NBA was to create more high performance moments. So you already have the best athletes. It's not like, come make this person good, right? They're already great. Good heavens, you have at that time, I'm going to date myself, but we have these players like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, and when working with those players, they're already great players. And so my job was, look, Doug, find a way that they can have more high performance moments, have more of those moments where they score the 50, 60, 70 points a game. That's your job. And I think for you and I, Daniel, it's about that too. Can we get more high performance moments on a daily basis? That's really what it's about. Can we get to those times when we're able to have more energy for a longer period of time, so that when we make great decisions, we're in that zone. We have that more often during the day with our work, with our family, when we go home at the end of the day. And so I spent a lot of my time with the public, now helping them with just create more high performance moments and do the things that are necessary to accomplish that in a short amount of time.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.